Hi and welcome. At the time of making this video, today is exactly just under 2 weeks to the general elections in February 2023 in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm excited about them, but I'm also cautious, and that's why I'm making this video, to add my voice to so much that has been said around the general elections. And I have a couple of things I want to say. First, I want to say, please, whoever you are, please participate in these elections. These are moments where we get to shape our future and the future of our children, generations to come. Decisions we make now, decisions the next set of leaders make, will impact a lot on our future. Don't be deceived to think that your vote doesn't count or that what is going to be is going to be. Don't let nobody deceive you to exclude yourself from the process. So my first simplified advice is participate. Get your voter's card, ensure you vote, join the discourse, try to convince people on who you think is the right candidates for various positions. Get involved. Don't stand by and watch and just let things play without you. You're a citizen, you're part of the process. Please get involved, please participate. Second thing I want to say quickly is there's this thinking every 4 years when we come to the general election that there's a particular candidate that is going to solve all our problems. He's like the Messiah, and you know, we all have our various candidates that we support, that we vote for, and we tend to think that if your candidate doesn't win, then Nigeria is going to just fold up and melt into chaos, and we are going to be in disaster mode. The country is not going to work. Your candidate is the only person that can save us. I want to just say here that there is no Messiah of a candidate, especially with the peculiar situation in Nigeria today. Nigeria is in a big mess, and I've been talking about this for years, that we've been living on a fake economy. We've had our boom in the oil, and we've squandered it to run a government and for a few people to benefit, and then there's been huge, immense corruption. So we're in a very, very bad place. There's no candidate that's going to come now as president, as governor of a state, and it's going to change everything. There's no Messiah candidate. Let's get this in our mind, that we are in a place where nothing is going to drastically change. Okay, some candidates are going to be better than some, and they're going to do their best. They're going to try to improve the situation. Some candidates are going to be worse, and they're going to do their worst, and they're going to make the situations worse than they are today. Okay, so we have to try and choose good candidates, but let us not be under any illusion that we are going to have one Messiah that's going to come, and in 6 months we're going to buy fuel for 100 naira per liter or 50 naira per liter, that the bag of rice is going to be 10,000 naira per bag. Let's not deceive ourselves. The likely thing is that the price of petrol is going to go up, because we can't sustain this kind of subsidy regime that we've lived in, that is basically corruption instead of subsidy. So to douse our expectation and come to reality that Nigeria is not going to change overnight just because your candidate or one particular candidate becomes president or governor or senator or something. Let's all be real. Let's come down to earth, that this country is in a mess. We can only gradually improve the situation. We cannot expect a drastic change. Okay, this is very important so that we don't get disappointed after May or June 2023. What's my third point in my note? It says, don't ignore the other elections. So there's a lot of talk about the presidential election between, Peter Obi, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Atiku, Kwankwanso, and people like that. And all this talk is stirring up a lot of interest. And this is good that we have this huge interest around the presidential election. But sometimes, or most times, I observe it's at the expense of governorship elections, state house of assembly, federal house of assembly elections. We are not focusing on those. And the truth is, these other levels of government have more direct impact to our lives, to our livelihood, than the federal government. So my advice is, don't ignore the other elections. Know the candidates. Know who is contesting in your ward, as in your House of Assembly, who's representing your senatorial district, who's going to be your governorship candidates for the various parties. Choose your candidates, campaign, support your candidate. create awareness for your candidate, not just for the presidential election. The president is just one person. He's not going to be able to fix this nation. We need to be involved with the state elections, with the senatorial elections. Get more involved. Know your candidates. Get more involved. It's like I said, at the time I'm making this video, it's less than 2 weeks to go, so we need to get involved. I'm just going to try and rush this quickly because we've been talking about the elections for a long time now. My point number 4 is, please, let's all live together. Okay, if your candidate wins, if my candidate wins, it's not the end of the world. Okay, at the end of the day, we're going to have one president, one governor of a state. We can support different candidates, but we don't have to fight and kill ourselves and hate ourselves and become lifelong sworn enemies just because my candidate and your candidate and all of that. See, we can support our candidate, but let's realize that at the end of the day, we are all brothers and sisters. We are all citizens of the Federal Republic. We are all living in this together. Okay, if your candidate wins and he happens to be the worst candidate, and I thought my candidate was the best candidate, and so what? We are going to live in whatever we see together. We are going to deal with it together, okay? So it's important that we don't create permanent enmity and hate ourselves and become sworn enemies just because I support a candidate, I support a party, you support the other party. There's a tendency that we can divide further along religious lines, along ethnic lines, along party lines, just because we support different candidates. Let's calm down. It's only one candidate that win. Even if the candidate will rig the election, let what will be, but let's still live as brothers and sisters. We are still Nigerians at the end of the day. Please, it's important. Because every 4 years we get this banter, and it moves from banter to real fight, real hatred. People don't talk to people, families break because we're trying to have a general election. It's just an election. Okay, some people are trying to run out of the country. Some people are believing that this election is going to make them out. Every 4 years we come to that point. See, listen to me. Nigeria is not going to die after these elections, no matter who wins. We're going to have some problems here and there, but at the end of the day, we are going to have one president. We will calm down and support this president. Are you hearing me? So let's all breathe down. Let's douse the tension. There's too much tension out there. There's too much tension. There's too much divide. We are one country. If a Christian wins, a Muslim wins, a northerner, a southerner, what will be will be. Support your candidate. Do the best you can. Vote, campaign. But at the end of the day, whoever is announced as the winner of the various elections, let's support the person. There's no my president and your president different. There's going to be one president. There's going to be one governor of the state. There's going to be one senator of the senatorial district. Yeah? That's my strong advice number 4. Live and let live. Let's all calm down. This is not the end of the world. This is just general elections. Please. My point number 5 is, okay, I need to tell you my own candidate. So for presidential election, it's clear. If you follow me on social media, you know that I'm going to vote for Mr. Peter Obi as the president of the Federal Republic. And my reason for that is very simple. I think in simple English, he is the most qualified candidate we have in this election. But that's my opinion. I mean, I look at their CVs, I look at their antecedents. I just think he's the least criminal of all of them. I don't think he's a saint. I don't think there's no criminal tendency in him. I don't know him so much. But I compare his public records to that of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I think Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a thief and a very high-level criminal. I think Atiku Abubakar is a criminal. I can't prove them. I don't have the facts. But I've lived in Nigeria for almost 5 decades. And these people have lived longer than me. So I've known them since I was a child, or since I started following their political career. They're criminals, in my opinion. They've held public offices. I've seen them. I live in Lagos when Tinubu was governor for 8 years. I mean, the guy is a thief. That's my opinion. So I can't see 4 or 5 people and vote for the worst criminal among them. These guys are criminals. These guys are part of the reason why we are where we are today. I don't think Peter Obi is a saint, but I think he's far better character and competency than the other candidates of the leading parties. Okay, they may be very, very good candidates in some of the smaller parties, but they don't stand a chance. Let's not deceive ourselves. So my choice for president is definitely Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Did I say Bola Ahmed Tinubu? It's definitely Mr. Peter Obi. I'm not voting for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, not in this lifetime. I'm not also voting for Atiku Abubakar, not in these elections, not when we have Peter Obi contesting with him. I'm definitely going to vote for Peter Obi. I'm not going to tell you my governorship candidate yet. I'm not going to tell you my candidate for State House Assembly. But what I'm going to tell you is that I'm going to vote in a bit of a zigzag manner. So I'm not voting by any party. Okay, Peter Obi is of the Labour Party. So for presidential election, I'm going to vote Labour Party. But for state election, I may not be voting Labour Party. Okay, I'm not letting the cat out of the bag on that one yet. For some of the House of Assembly election, I'm going to be voting different parties. I definitely have some candidates for State House of Assembly and for Federal House of Assembly in Lagos where I live. So I'm going to be voting different parties. I'm not voting Labour Party all the way, and that's because I'm looking at candidates and not parties, because I think all the parties are basically the same. There's no ideological difference between any party, because the politicians, they are the same politicians in the other party. They just crisscross from one party to the other. So let's just look at credentials of the candidates and who is the best candidate for each position, and let's vote our best. So in conclusion, I'm going to advise you, please vote your conscience, the person you think is best fit to serve your interest, your purpose, your children's interest. Vote wisely, vote the candidate you believe in, and if you're not sure, then please vote my candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, for president. But whatever we do, like I said, let's know that this is not the end of the world. Let's live and let live. We're going to go out and vote. Somebody's going to be announced as the winner, somebody's going to be announced as the loser. Let's not start burning things down, and it's not the end of the world. We've survived Muhammadu Buhari for 8 years. We are still alive somehow. We don't have cash. We don't have fuel. We don't have the dollar. It's crazily expensive. Life is very hard. But we are still alive. If we start taking to violence, we just make things worse for ourselves and for our children. And we start destroying the little infrastructure we have. It's our money they are going to use to rebuild it. So let's not be foolish. Let's not think that we are trying to be activists and all that, and we just end up destroying our nation and creating problems for ourselves. Let's calm down. That's my 2 cover on this one. Thank you for watching. So please go out and vote. I wish you well. I wish Nigeria well on these elections. I pray for these elections every day in my prayer. I hope that we get it right this time, or at least we do better than we did the last times during the general election. Please keep in touch if you have things to say, you have opinions. I'd like to know what you're thinking about the elections. What are your candidates? Leave some comments down below. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you are not. Ding the notification bell so you get to know when we have new videos on the channel. We do all kinds of talk here and tech and stuff, so please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and see you in the